Hello, everyone, and welcome to Amara's Voice. I am a teacher and an uplifter, which means I see people as already whole. I see them as vibrant, joyful, magnificent, and powerful. I see the source within them, which leads them to a powerful truth from within. I see them living in alignment with self, having such wonderful beliefs that make them stay in their joyful natural element. Today we're going to ponder becoming Amara. How did I come to this point? Why the name change? I'll be talking about that today. Where did the name change come from? As I've been on my spiritual journey, and it's more than a journey for me because everything is happening now. It's not like there's a version of me in the past I'm looking down on and not approving. It's just I know that my point of power is in the present now. So where I am now, it's a place of truly accepting who I am as a person. Something that has always been a little bit difficult for me, but with new beliefs, I affirm the rightness of my being. I am myself and I trust my own integrity. So many months ago, maybe 9 months ago, I went through one of the most painful time of my life. I can talk about this now because I know myself so well. It doesn't bother me. In fact, it's a positive thing for sure. I'm glad I went through such a time as that. I went through one of the most painful time of my life. However, initially I was having so many questions before even all of this happened. Consciously, I was asking myself so many questions, so many. Subconsciously, I got some answers, and consciously, I knew all the answers, but I didn't know yet that I knew them. But as I went on this experience, which was so beautiful, I remember just starting off reading books. I read so many books. It became one of my favorite things to do, actually, reading. Sometimes I would be reading like 3 to 4 books a week. And I remember Audible helped me a lot because, if you have a book and you're listening to it at the same time, it's faster to read that way. I like having actual books, but also some books I didn't actually get. I just listened to them. Actually, two of the most fundamental books that really made me so excited were The Courage to Be Disliked and The Courage to Be Happy. If you love psychology, you'll love these. I found Alfred Adler's theory is phenomenal. For example, the separation of tasks, considering people as comrades, the task of love, etc. And this was just the beginning of my journey, quote unquote. I really love these books, but still, I was looking for something more. So, anyway, I kept reading and reading. And as I kept reading and reading made me read more. Much later, I came into the realization that when you know, you want to know more. So it keeps going and growing and growing, at least if you're really seeking something. So as I was seeking these answers, the problem before me was to learn how to let go. I told myself, if I'm going to learn how to let go, if I cannot learn this thing called letting go, then I'm not going to stop. I'm going to listen to all the life coaches on YouTube. I'm going to do spiritual work. I'm going to do everything that's being suggested until I let go. Being the what does it mean to let go? What is letting go? So I went on YouTube. I watched all the videos that I could find on letting go because I really wanted to let go of pain, of my bad relationships, of everything truly. It was just so many bad things happening at the same time. It was too much. It was too much for me. So I remember as I was going through this extremely difficult time, but also now that I think about it, it became enjoyable because I was learning a lot, learning more than I've ever been able to learn because I was really enjoying all these things. But nobody was giving me like an exclusive answer to what I wanted to know, you know. And of course, as you're learning, you're transforming. You just don't know it yet. You think you're just the same person, but each book transforms you more. So as I was transforming, unbeknownst to me, I was actually becoming a better version of me, a better version of me who asks even bigger questions, questions that I initially didn't know how to ask myself. I remember one time thinking to myself about why is everybody making like the ego look so bad? Because in all of these things I was listening to, learning, I saw that so many life coaches were almost pointing to the ego to be such a really bad thing. And I remember asking myself, why is this a big problem? Why is the ego so bad? Like, oh my God. Like, who died and made ego the stepchild? Oof. Ugh. I remember just thinking to myself, I don't think the ego is that bad. Like, if something has maintained you this long, put a shell around you, or the way it was just being described by all these life coaches that I was listening to, it just didn't make sense to me that the ego was so bad. And I was just like, okay, I guess the ego is not so good. But so much later in my findings, I found something extraordinary about the ego. So being on my journey, like you would call it, in your time-space reality, led me to so many questions, and so many answers kept coming my way. And the more I knew, the more I wanted to know. So here was one time, so far ahead, way past what I even ever thought I was seeking. Because the whole purpose of the whole thing was to learn how to let go. Yes, yet for some reason, I went way past that. Yes, for those wondering, yes, I found the solution to letting go, and it wasn't there. It wasn't where I was so busy focused on finding the answers. The answers came, but they came from within. But here I was, and I was learning more and more about me, and learning about unconditional love, and learning about the things that I was, who I truly am, and my true source, all that is. And honestly, I just remember saying to myself, why do I feel so detached from my name? Like, every time I look at myself, I know that I'm not Barbara. Names are not important either. They are designations, symbols, almost like a mark to help you mark a period of your eternal life. You can call yourself anything just to help you remember that in this time I was called this. So names are not really important. But I remember one time my mother found out what Barbara means. She asked what Barbara means. I remember it was something that I used to be so inquisitive growing up as a child, and I remember asking questions. What does my name mean? What does my name mean? So I found out, and then I told my mother. I was always very inquisitive. I always ask simple questions. The most simple questions will lead you to the biggest answers that you think are so profound. You think you can't even ask some questions, but start with those simple questions. So one time I told my mother what the name Barbara means, and she was so perturbed. She was like, oh my God, this is what I named my child? No disrespect to the name Barbara, but it did not fit me. And as I was going on this reawakening, I think I met several people who all told me, you don't look like Barbara. Like, yeah, I know, I don't. And some people, when they met me, I told them I was Barbara. First, you see the surprise on their faces, and then the relief. They almost want to scream, oh, it's just a Barbara here, just a Barbara, people. Because obviously I'm African and people just aren't expecting Barbara. So it feels like a small thing, but once it came to me, I was at the point in my life when I was learning about unconditional love, and as I was learning unconditional love, I had some of the best revelations in my life. That's when the name Amara came to me. I was just looking around the internet, like the word love in other languages, and like words like amor, kwagala, mpenzi. It's like when I went through everything that I could possibly see, this name just kept coming up. Amara. It was so beautiful when I first heard it. I don't know, I just felt like that feels like me. That feels like my name. And I remember that time, that's when I got the revelation for one of the projects that I've worked on. And when I got the revelation, I was like, oh wow, I really love the way the name fits into all of this. I really love what it stands for. I love how the project that I was working on is a book, but how the book title sounded when it has my name on it, Amara. So that's how I became Amara. It was really something that just kept coming back. It was kind of hard at first, like thinking of suddenly being called Amara. I prefer to be called Amara because whenever I hear it, it's like a switch comes on. It's like every time somebody calls me Amara, suddenly I feel like there's a shift in my being. I feel like, oh yeah, this is me. This is me that's aligned to self. The me that always is in my element. The me that knows all things. The me that loves unconditionally. The me that has these new beliefs. The me that knows that I create my own reality. The me that only focuses on what's wanted. The me that knows that what I want, I believe in, and I am, and what I don't want, I don't believe, and I'm not. This is the me that always seeks to find alignment first and then speaks or acts. So as I became more aware of that change in energy, every time somebody said, "Hey, Amara," it's like almost like I was watching over me, looking at me like, "Hey, Amara, Amara, Amara." And most people who call me Amara ended up like calling me goddess. I know. I know. I am my own creator. I create my own reality. I am source. I am all that is. I'm a projection of all that is. I am everything and I'm everyone. I have no guilt about saying that. We all are powerful creators. We just don't know it yet. Some of us know, some of us don't. When I'm in that God power, I can create everything I want. And even when I'm around people, I have a better stature, I have a better presence, I speak better, I know things, I know all things, I think fast, I know all the solutions. So that is how I became a mirror. And here I am, always becoming, always in a state of becoming. And as you create, you become. You're not creating something that is not there yet, it's already there. You're just becoming it. Amara means grace, mercy in Igbo, eternal, immortal, unfading, and the one that gets me the most, everlasting one. That's the name, Amara. And I love it. So I wrote a short piece capturing this moment in my life. I call it From Stranger to Beloved. Why I became Amara. There was a time I answered to a name that meant stranger. Barbara. Not wrong, just not fully me. Not the whole of me. She was the beginning, a beautiful echo of everything I had to remember and everything I was ready to outgrow. They say Barbara means foreign one, not of the tribe, the one outside the gates. And I was for a while, a visitor in my own life, watching, waiting, becoming. But then something happened, a quiet return, a soft unfolding, and I remembered who I was before the world gave me names that didn't fit. I became Amara. Amara, which means grace, beloved, peaceful, immortal. Not because I needed a new name, but because I finally had my true one. Now I walk not as a stranger, but as one who belongs to herself, to this moment, to the divine current of joy I now call home. This is my voice. This is my space. This is my becoming. Welcome to Amara's voice. Welcome to Amara. Welcome to yourself. I'm Amara, and I'm pondering for the joy of pondering. I love you. Focus on feeling good. Bye.